Hello, my name is Alexei. I want to invite you to a virtual trip to Sadogashima or Sado Island. This island is located in the eastern part of the Sea of Japan and belongs to Niigata Prefecture. At the moment, you can travel there only by ferry, which for example takes about 2 hours from Niigata city. There is an airport on the island, but it is not in use at the moment, and it is not clear whether it will be again. So I and a friend of mine are on a ferry to Sado Island. By the way, you are probably wondering about the title of this video. Why is Sado Japan's mini Australia? Well, I see a couple of similarities. First of all, Australia has gold mines, and so does Sado Island, or did have. Further, people were exiled or banned to Sado Island like in the case of Australia. Technically, English criminals and Japanese political opponents are different cases, but similarity is there. That is basically it. The similarity might come too short, but this video title sounds intriguing, right? Sado Island, Japan's mini Australia. Kind of. We are in the Ryotsu port of Sado Island. Sado looks like a letter S from above. There is the northern part or Osado Range, and the southern part or Kosado Range, and Kuninaka Plain in between. We will spend 3 days on Sado Island. Today we will explore the southern half of the island and especially its southwest tip. These trough-shaped boats are called taraibune and are one of the symbols of Sado Island. They are usually used for catching mollusks, but today mostly for catching tourists. The trough design originated from need to fish in the narrow coves. The village of Shukunegi has been a port since the medieval times and was once prosperous in the 17th century. brought about by the Sado Kinzan gold mine. Shukunegi is characterized by the crowded rows of over 100 houses built with plate walls made from ship planks. The rice is about to be harvested, and these eagle-shaped kites are used as scarecrows all over the island. We are on the Osado Range, or the northern half of the island. We start the second day with a hike to Mount Kinpoku, the highest peak of Sado Island. I try not to miss hiking while traveling in Japan, of course, provided that I am traveling with friends who have the Japanese driver's license, since I don't have one. You are quite limited in hiking without a car. To climb Mount Kinpoku, you have to fill in and submit a simple form beforehand. The reason for these are military radar systems on the peaks near Mount Kinpoku. The Japanese Air Self-Defense Force maintains their radar and electronic intelligence systems for airspace surveillance and detection of incoming missiles from China or North Korea. It's about noontime and quite hot and humid. But we are not yet finished with hiking. We want to do a short hike to yet another peak called Donden Yama or Mount Donden. ¿A dónde vas? A Donden Yama. What else is on our menu today? There is a trail in the mountains with many old and big Japanese cedars. And then there are picturesque rocks, Onogame and Futatsugame, on the northern tip of the island. This humid August heat is inseparable from the loud cicada noise. If you live in Japan for a while, you will get used to it. I am so used to it that I would have a kind of a Pavlov's dog's reaction. Namely, if I only heard the sound of Japanese cicadas, I would automatically start sweating. The last day on Sado Island we will spend engaging in its gold mining related history, with the first thing in the morning visiting Sado Kinzan gold mine near the town of Aikawa. Sado Kinzan gold mine was the most productive mine in Japan, annually producing nearly 400 kilograms of gold, as well as smaller amounts of silver and copper. The mine was in operation throughout the Edo period and served as a major source of funding for the Tokugawa shogunate, which directly controlled Sado Island and its mines.
酒を飲みて馴染みの女にも会いてえな。
During the early period, the mine workers were paid very well and the surrounding towns were prosperous. However, by the later half of the Edo period, gold extraction was becoming increasingly difficult due to water ingression from natural springs and by the tunnels following veins of ore underneath the seabed. The shogunate supplemented the local workforce by bringing in convicted criminals and homeless people picked up from the streets of Edo. Conditions for these forced laborers were extremely harsh, as they were used for the most dangerous tasks and for the heavy labor involved in dewatering the mines. A sentence to the Sado mines was a life sentence. By the Meiji Restoration, production had dropped considerably and the new Meiji government sold the mines to a consortium led by Mitsubishi. Using imported machinery and modern mining techniques, including cableways, vertical shafts, and improved extraction technology, Sado Kinzan gold mine was able to increase production to 1,500 kilograms of gold and 25 tons of silver annually by 1940. World War II severely impacted production and operations were reduced by a large scale in 1952. The final mining operations were stopped in 1989. It is hard to imagine, but there are estimated 400 kilometers of tunnels in the Sado Kinzan gold mine. About 300 meters have been opened to the public as a museum. Doyu no Warito open cut is a symbol of the Sado Kinzan gold mine. It is a remnant of the surface mining of the Doyu vein mined during the Edo period. As a result of human excavation, the opening of the Doyu no Warito extends to a depth of 74 meters and a width of 30 meters, essentially splitting the mountain in two. As I have mentioned in the beginning, Sado was considered an island of exile for centuries. Many noble and intellectuals who dared upset the ruling elite, as well as political rivals, were cast away to this island. For example, Emperor Juntoku, the 84th Emperor of Japan, and the Japanese Buddhist priest and philosopher Nichiren. Because of the exile history, it seems fitting that one of the hidden gems of Sado Island is an old prison, the Aikawa prison. It opened in 1954 and was utilized until it was abandoned in 1972. Aikawa Prison is one of the few remaining completely wooden structures left in Japan, as many were replaced over the years or destroyed during World War II. We continue to engage in history of gold and silver mining on Sado Island. The next are remains of the 1930s Kitazawa flotation plant, which was used to separate silver and gold from waste. The flotation method had originally been used for copper beneficiation, but at Kitazawa the techniques were applied to silver and gold extraction and successfully utilized for the first time in the world. Under increasing production plan, large-scale investment was made. As a result, the flotation plant was able to process over 50,000 tons of ore per month, and the plant was declared as the greatest one in the East. That is basically it. Our virtual Sado trip is nearing its end. We are driving towards Ryotsu port, where we will take the ferry back to Niigata. What are my final words about Sado Island? Without question, I enjoyed it very much. It offers beautiful nature with its mountain ranges and rocky beaches, and lots of interesting historical sightseeing spots. Not to mention its beautiful rice fields. If you have watched my virtual tour of Sado, I thank you. And I recommend you to do a real tour to this island and see also those places we have missed.